Happy Monday morning, everyone. Doc Legendary here with another edition of the Sagely Shave. Because it's Monday morning, I'm wearing my Disney board meeting shirt, which is in a state of disrepair. But today we're going to be shaving with some smoke, some Haverford from Sterling Soap Company. So excited about that. I'll go ahead and shake out my brush. I'll go ahead and get started. And it's Monday, so I figured today we'd talk a little bit about a more boring topic, a work-related topic. We're going to talk about staying organized. Now, staying organized is not something that comes natural to me at all. I have to work at it. In fact, I have a Microsoft Teams application that I use to manage my team of physicians. It keeps me on track, helps me remember things, helps me not forget things. But organization by me doesn't really come natural. But I'm going to teach you some lessons today that I learned kind of later in my life on how to stay organized. So when I started out, my first two jobs, one was I worked for Corning in the database group started out as a data intern. And that was fairly easy. It wasn't too hard. We had some set tasks to do every day. Not too bad. Oh, look at that lather. It smells good. A little bit of smoke. A little bit of, I smell oak and cedar in there, I think. I don't know. Someone in Wicked Edge had recommended Haverford, and so I bought a sample puck of it. And this is my first time trying it, and I have to say I kind of like the scent. It's nice. It lathers very well too. That's the other thing. Yes. But anyway, I didn't really work on checklists. I just kind of flew by the seat of my pants, and I managed to do a good job, though sometimes I'd slip up and forget a couple things. And my second job was a sales job working for a venture capitalist and a urologist at an upstart doing vasectomy referrals over the internet. And that required a little bit more organization because I was calling contacts on the regular, trying to talk to physicians and stuff, which if you've ever tried, I'm just for those budding salesmen out there, if you've ever tried to contact a physician through a physician's office and you're not another physician, it's kind of like trying to break into Fort Knox. Especially in today's climate where they can't, even drug reps aren't even welcome for the most part at our hospital system anymore. So the glory days of having awesome CME lunches and stuff is done. But anyway, I digress. So staying organized. So I learned this lesson, one from my father, when I was starting medical school and I had trouble getting through gross anatomy. We had talked about checklists, maintaining a checklist, and I started using the checklist, and that's how I was able to get through gross anatomy, was to put my study habits into a checklist. And it was reinforced when I started flight training for my private pilot license, which I haven't admittedly finished yet, but I have 32 hours in. You see, money makes planes fly, and right now, the money and time just aren't there, which is fine, Okay, we're gonna get ready for our second pass here, guys. But during this time, I very much remember you always have this pre-flight checklist that I would sit and do in my Cessna 172 that I trained in. And I got to the point where I had memorized the checklist. So sometimes I would even look at the checklist when I'm completing my pre-flight. Well, I had my flight instructor next to me in the cockpit, and I was getting ready to take off on runway 24. And I made my radio call. Everything was good. Thought I'd done my pre-flight check and taxied onto the runway, put in my full power, got to about 55 knots, and the plane wouldn't take off. Wouldn't leave the ground. Couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. Then I realized very quickly that I had not adjusted my carb heat, and I had also left the flaps at full. And so I quickly corrected that once we got airborne. Thankfully, we had plenty of runway. And learned a valuable lesson that I should always look at my checklists. So nowadays, if you go downstairs to my home office, you will see quite prominently displayed a glass board with a checklist of things to do. Now, you don't have to be like me and have an elaborate glass board, but I will say this. Even having a notepad and referring to it and just doing simple things such as like pay bills, have my, do budget, pick up groceries, pick up kids from school. Those types of things will greatly help you out and greatly serve you in being more productive and being more accomplished, especially at work. And if you guys are working for a living, I really want you guys to be productive at work so you can get a raise, so you can be appreciated at work, because I think that's important, especially in today's environment. So it's important to stay organized. The other thing that's really helpful, especially if you can stay organized with I'm just going to shave across the grain here a couple times, get a couple of these spots. The other thing that's important is, and I'm bad at this, but trying to remember birthdays and anniversaries. If you're the type of person who can't remember birthdays and anniversaries for like the important people in your life, like your wife, definitely put it in your phone. Definitely, write it down somewhere, and that way you don't forget. Because I think it's really important to make people feel special in today's environment. Everyone's on social media. I mean, it's even, just writing a Facebook post or something to them just to make them feel acknowledged and loved. That's a big deal. It's a big deal, guys. You should totally do it. If you send a handwritten card to somebody, that's an even bigger deal, because no one uses snail mail these days. But when I was growing up, and definitely my parents' generation, that's what you did. You hand wrote a card, and nothing says you're awesome than someone taking the time to hand write you a letter. So anyway, not to digress too much, but my sage advice is do something to stay organized today. So it's time for a little bit of alum block action. Let's rinse the face, see where we got our nicks at. Hopefully not too bad today. And I'm getting close to needing a new alum block. Not too bad, not too bad. Oh, a little sting there. Nope, got a little nick there. Oh, and this is day 5 of my Aster Platinum, so I should that's about the time I should change those. My Gillette Silver Blues will last an extra day, but the Aster Platinums typically last me about 4 days before I need to change them out. So definitely try to stay organized this week. Make a checklist. Do something awesome for someone. All right, I'm going to let you guys pick here. So in the comments below, I'd love you to tell me what your favorite would be, Executive Man or Glacial Lemon Chill. Today we're going to go with Executive Man because I have some meetings on site today, and it's about time for my first meeting of the morning. I got to get changed. I'm just going to put a little Executive Man in. This Executive Man scent, to me, this is just for me, it's like a strong cologne type of scent, but it smells like liquid CEO. Executive Man. So anyway, I hope you all have a great, productive, and safe day. Do something kind for someone else. Leave a comment below on which aftershave you'd like me to use next time. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Doc Legendary out.